Hi, this is Leslie Ann, and today I'm working on some cards from a new cartridge I just got for the Cricut called Everyday Pop-Up Cards, and there are no instructions for this, so it's a bit of a tricky one, but the images are really quite lovely. I've already done 3 cards from this cartridge, and I think one of them's already on my blog, but the one I just made tonight is the Pitter Patter card, and it's got a neat little mechanism that kind of spins when you open, and it is rather tricky. So we're gonna work on that one today. Alright, so the first thing to note is that the measurements on this cartridge are not quite standard. So when I've been cutting something, I have been making notes on a little sticky note and putting down what my measurements have been for the card I'm making. It seems that the phrases that match the card are quite a bit smaller than what you'd want to use for the base image and the pop-up. And I'm using a standard A2 card. I'm not normally using their pre-cut here. So I've already gone ahead and cut a different image to work on today. So this is the flower, and it's the same kind of spinning technique as on the Pitter Patter card. And I'm going to just pull that away. Now this flower mechanism I cut at 4.5. Oh, lost you. And I have my A2 card all ready to go. So I need to first of all score, and the score marks are already on the cut itself. So there's my large flower, and I'm going to score him just lightly. And I'm not using a fancy score tool on this one, just a ruler. And I guess this is the dental pick, and when I turn it so that it's kind of upside down, I can make a nice score. And then fold, put to the side. And you would do that with each of the flower pieces. For this demo though, I'm just going to move directly on to the spinning mechanism. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 score marks. So you need to score on the diagonal. 1. On the diagonal the other way. 2, and then down the middle, and then the tabs. Okay, so I think that's pretty easy to kind of get there. Hopefully you can see the diagonals. Now the trick is on this card to make these folds correct. Now the diagonal ones are going to be mountain folds. So mountain and mountain. These are folds that are, imagine a mountain and going towards you. Okay? The one that's down the center is a valley fold. So turn it in. And then these ones don't matter too much right now, but you can just mountain fold those as well. So you're left kind of with a 3-dimensional object already. Hopefully with the shadows you can see that. And what you want to do is kind of put your fingers into the valley and push inwards so that you make kind of like a triangular item there. And I've done this in origami. I think there's a name for this, but I don't recall it. So if you know, please leave that in the comments. So one more time. The diagonals are mountain folds, and the center one is a valley, and then you're going to just take the whole thing and push. So you're left with that. And push. Okay, and that is the main part, I think, that's confusing a lot of people, and obviously with no instructions that's kind of hard to tell. So I can flatten this out a little bit and just put it down on my mat, and then I'm going to use my flower. Now my flower is going to adhere to the 2 raised triangle pieces here. And normally I would just use some tacky glue. I don't want to take the time to let that dry, however, so I'll grab a couple of glue dots and glue dot, oops, And then I'll refold it, and the flower is going to go right into the middle of that contraption. Okay. So one side and fold to the other. Okay. So you're left with something that looks like this. Now, I think on the Facebook page there is this flower already done, but you can't see what's underneath it. So it does kind of sit up off your card when you make it, but it's hard to tell how it was assembled. And I was kind of thrown for a loop by this horizontal line on the cards. All the other pop-ups I've made have had vertical valley folds. Right, so next I need my card. So an A2 card. And this is a bit of the tricky part. So you're going to have these tabs glued down, and the center of this flower needs to run along the fold line so that when the whole thing is assembled and you close it up, it spins closed. So I've tried this a number of ways, and it seems to be that the best way to do this is to turn it over and then fold these tabs in, and then use some adhesive. And for this one, again, I'm just going to use my glue dots. I think that tacky glue is probably a better choice, though. It's going to be stronger, and these pop-ups do take a little bit of wear and tear on them, especially on the scored areas and the glue parts. Okay. So, but for now, I'll just use a couple of glue dots. And then this needs to be centered. There you go. And then just reach underneath there and give it a little push down. And if you were using some tacky glue, you'd let that have some time to dry. And then it's going to spin closed. So it needs a little bit of help at first, and it's hopefully going to work. There you go. And as I said, I do recommend using the tacky glue instead. My glue dot has shifted and it's actually gluing the flower. Come on out. There we go. It seems that spinning mechanism is almost slightly small in some cases. I would perhaps recommend trying this out with the triangular bit a 1/4 inch larger on some cards, but this seems to be working, and it just needs a little bit of help to get it going at first. Oh, out you come. There we go. And it's sticking underneath, sadly, to the glue dot. So using the tacky glue would probably be a much better recommendation. And just give a little bit of help to get it going. Oh, out you come. But very cute. And you would, of course, assemble that whole flower contraption with the other layers, maybe in different colors or inks or something. But that'll be a really cute little card when it's done. So I hope that has explained this card. It is a little bit of a trick, those folds, but I think it's worth it. And I do like this cartridge in general, although of course I do find some of the instructions, or lack thereof, to be a bit of a challenge. So there you are. That's the spinning flower and the pitter-patter card. And that's much smoother, you see. But it still needs a little help getting back in there. There you go. And I believe there's a couple other cards that were assembled that way as well. So please feel free to go over onto my blog and see what other cards I've assembled from this. And please feel free to leave me a comment if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching.